In a strip mall pharmacy, a quiet night cashier watches a security guard publicly shame a young mother whose card keeps declining. He shocks the line by paying for her child's medicine with his own money, risking trouble and giving up his break fund. The moment softens the room and sparks small, lasting changes around the counter, reshaping how people see each other without anyone saying it out loud. Before we get started, tap like, share, and subscribe to join the journey. And tell me, where in the world are you watching? Drop your country below. I love seeing the global trail of these stories. At 9:17, the lights hum the same way they always do. The heater rattles like it learned the trick in 1989 and never forgot. The scanner beeps. The older man with the limp stands behind plexiglass and lines up quarters by state. He likes the ones with birds. He stacks them 5 high and starts a new row. Register tape curls like white ribbon near the keyboard. The air smells like dryer sheets and cold air sneaking under the door. People push their cards under the slot without looking him in the eye. He has a name badge, but most eyes bounce off it like it's extra glare. He nods anyway. He straightens the travel-size shampoos like it's a puzzle only he can solve. The shelf wobbles a little, so he turns each bottle so the labels line up. He tucks a runaway bandage back in its box. He squares a box of tissue so the brand faces out. He has a little pen he likes, the one that writes on receipts without skipping. The ring of keys at his hip makes tiny music when he moves. His left shoe rubs at the heel. The store radio plays a song from a summer he can't place. The security guard scrolls his phone by the door. The pharmacy clock ticks loud in his head, even when he tries not to hear it. The door chime dings 3 times in a row. Cold air follows people in and snow dusts their shoulders. Boots scrape on the mat in tired rhythms. A line forms fast because it always does after dinner. A woman wants batteries for a remote. A man wants cough drops in the blue box, not the red. Teenagers drift by the candy pretending not to be together. Someone asks where the bathroom is, and then asks again when he points. An old woman rests her palms on the counter to catch her breath. The pharmacist peeks out to say flu shots are done for the night and goes back to the glowing screens. A woman in a grey hoodie steps up with a small, hot-cheeked child. The kid's head is heavy on her shoulder. His nose is pink and crusted. He clings to a corner of a faded blanket with cars on it. She smells like laundry and worry and the cold. The paper bag in her hand rattles with a bottle and a tiny syringe. Her knuckles are red from the wind. Her eyes do a quick, hopeful check of the sign that says we accept all major cards. Her card blinks red. Her card blinks red. The machine chirps, then prints nothing. She flips it over and tries again. Red. She digs in her pocket for another card. It shines, but it is old and bent. Red. She bites her lip. Maybe try debit? He says soft through the small slot. She nods. Red. The toddler coughs so hard his eyes water, and he makes a small sound after all empty air. The line behind them breathes louder. A guy 2 customers back lifts his phone like the world is a show. The security guard clears his throat like a siren. No more IOUs, he says too loud. We can't let meds go without a sale. His voice hits the plexiglass and spreads. People turn because they always turn at a certain tone. The woman shifts the child and keeps her eyes on the plastic mat, like it might open up. I can call someone, she says. He's burning up. She taps her phone and waits, and the tone rings and goes nowhere. The guard's radio crackles like it wants to be part of it too. Store policy, he says. We don't do handouts. His hand rests on his belt, all firm posture and edges. A sign on the wall says, we care about your health, and it glows a little too bright. He looks at the screen, at the total, at the clock. 9:22. $36.79. Plus tax. He feels the thinness of his wallet like a draft in an old house. He thinks of the brake pads he was supposed to buy on Friday. He thinks of the bus timetable folded in his pocket and how the wind on that corner finds every seam in his coat. He hears the cough again and the shuffling in line and the paper bags crinkling in people's hands. He remembers the last time his sister called him from urgent care. He remembers how a 5-minute wait felt like a wall. The guard shifts his boots and the plastic squeaks. He slides his own card through the reader. It makes the same beep it always makes. For a second the screen shows his balance. $402.11. Approved flashes green. He signs with his little pen. He doesn't look at the guard. Put the acetaminophen too, he says, nodding toward the wall of pain meds. Children's. The smallest one. The pharmacist's eyes flick to his. then to the kid, then back. She rings it fast, her fingers sure. The phone in his pocket buzzes with something he can't check. He feels it and lets it buzz. Something in the aisle air loosens. The line stops leaning forward. The woman blinks and says, "I'll pay you back," like a reflex, like a promise, like a prayer. He nods once. "Take care of him," he says. The guard's shoulders drop a half-inch. The teenager lowers his phone and stares at a rack of sunglasses that no one buys in winter. A cough-drop guy coughs into his elbow like he remembered how. He bags the bottle and the tiny syringe and keeps his voice low. He tucks the receipt inside, even though he knows where it is. He slides the children's meds in next to it. "Water, as soon as you can," he says to the woman. "Cool washcloth. Light blanket. Not too many layers." The boy lifts his head and finds the clear acrylic sneeze guard with his eyes. He sees his own little red nose in the reflection and taps the glass with 2 fingers soft. "Thank you," she says. She says it like her throat hurts. She pushes the door with her hip, and the cold takes them both. The bells on the handle make a chaotic little song, and then quiet. On break, he sits on a milk crate in the stockroom. The air back there tastes like cardboard and lemon cleaner. A hum from the ice cream coolers sneaks under the door. He scrolls past 3 brake pad options and picks none. He opens the transit app. It says the bus he needs comes at 10:12 and then not again for an hour. He watches a blue dot creep across a map. He calls his mother and lets it ring, then hangs up. Her last voicemail was about her pill bottle and how the copay jumped this month, how the sticker felt heavy on a small orange thing. He presses his thumb against the spot in his shoe where the leather rubs thin. He eats the sandwich he made this morning. It tastes like fridge. He takes $1 from his wallet and smooths it flat, then puts it back. He tells himself out loud, it's fine, and it feels true enough to carry him 5 more minutes. Before his next shift, a folded note is taped to the plexiglass. It's on paper torn from a coloring book. A star is drawn in purple crayon, all lopsided points, one arm longer than the rest. Under it, "Thank you for seeing us." No name. The tape curls a little at the edges because the heat is dry. He smooths it down with 2 fingers until the tape grabs again. The security guard reads it, and then looks at his boots and clears his throat at a normal volume. The pharmacist sees it, smiles without teeth, and goes back to counting pills. The security guard doesn't say sorry. He brings a granola bar from his pocket and leaves it by the register like it forgot to be in a lunch. "You want this?" he asks, not quite asking. Later, he holds the door for an old man with a cane and doesn't make a show of it. He keeps his voice lower when he asks people to keep the aisle clear. He stops scrolling his phone when a kid coughs. He stands a little to the side instead of right in front when someone looks flustered. It's not a speech. It's a shift you feel more than you see. At the end of the week, a woman in a white coat starts a quiet envelope. She writes "Pay later" on it in neat pharmacy handwriting and tucks a 5 inside. She doesn't announce it. The envelope lives under the stack of vaccine forms, where it won't get messy and it won't get seen unless you need it. The man with the limp puts in 8 in singles when he has them. The tech with the heavy eyeliner adds a stack of sample packs no one ever takes, the kind with a tiny bit of lotion inside. Once, a coupon the printer spits out says, "Save $4, and it goes in the envelope too, because why not? A regular with paint on his knuckles rounds up without looking at the total. "Keep the change," he says, and it's $3 that time. 6 another 90 cents once. A woman buys a box of size 4 diapers and asks if she can leave it at pickup. Another customer asks, "Is there a jar?" And when the answer is no, they pack their pocket, think, and then sit in their car for a minute with the engine off, and then come back and buy tissues and leave them on the counter. A teenager with purple hair buys 2 little bottles of cough syrup and slides one back. For someone, the teen says, "Fast," then walks away. The older man behind the plexiglass moves the pile to the spot near the lottery display where people can see without feeling seen. No sign, no fanfare, just there. He thinks about all the noises in this place. The beeps don't care where the card comes from. The doors don't care who pushes them. The lights hum for everyone, no matter what they carry in. The heater rattles through storms and slow nights and days. When the line wraps down aisle 3, he thinks about how people come in red-cheeked and rushed and leave with a small bag that might matter more than its size. He thinks about receipts and how they are paper records of a moment that could have gone another way. He remembers his father saying, "Some nights you just have to hold a roof up long enough for morning," and how maybe that's what a cash drawer can be if you move faster than your fear. He looks at the note with the purple star and thinks about how someone chose that color on purpose. When he locks the door that night, snow powders the empty lot. The red pharmacy sign buzzes and throws a weak glow on the glass. The star note flutters at the edge of its tape and then sticks again. He pulls his hood up and starts the slow walk toward the bus stop, past the grocery carts that don't belong to their stores anymore. His breath looks like smoke in the wind. Tire tracks in the lot fill in as he watches, like the night is erasing footprints to make room for more. In the reflection, for a second, his blue vest floats over the dark outside like a little solid piece of light.